Seats up front? There's plenty of seats up front. There's always plenty of seats up front. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the new class that's starting on Monday. Welcome to all of our volunteers who helped us in the background run an assessment event this evening. And welcome to all of you visitors, some of whom I recognize and some of whom I don't recognize. So if you're new here, welcome to 40 Plus. And for the few of you who are new here, a very short word about 40 Plus. We're a 64-year-old all-volunteer organization, and our mission in life is helping mid-career professionals acquire the skills they need to make successful career transitions. Our primary program is the course that we offer, an intensive 4-week course, 4 hours of training in how to present yourself, how to perfect your resume, how to interview.
Turn off your phone.
Turn off your That was perfect. You did that on purpose. Thank you, my plant downstairs. Anyway. And the other thing we do is every Monday we have a free program where we have a speaker who comes in and talks to us on some topic of interest to job seekers and career transitioners. Those are free, open to the public. They for virtually every Monday morning of the year. The person who organizes all that brilliantly. And then once a month we have this evening session where we try to do a get-together of this type. To help us with our assessment program, but also to give you an opportunity, if you are working, to have a chance to interact with us in this event. And with that little introduction, I'm going to turn the program over to Ken, who is our Director of Partnerships Programming and all other things that no one else wants to do, who is going to introduce our
Well, before I do that, with one of the other hats on, I want to tell you very quickly about a couple of partnership events that we've got coming up. You may have seen it in the slides, which somehow stopped. No, that's not important. As many of you who have worked for nonprofit organizations may know, you can't do it by yourself. Nonprofits, especially small, tiny little ones like 40 Plus, rely on the goodwill and the partnerships of other like-minded organizations, and 40 Plus is certainly no exception to that rule. I just want to tell you very quickly about 3 events that we are collaborating with. The first is coming up on July 15th, Saturday morning from, I believe it's 9 to noon. Our colleague, Cherryl Harrington, has launched a new program, and the program is called Boomer Works. So for those of us in the baby boomer generation who are looking to need to understand how to participate in this new phenomenon called the gig economy, which means you don't have a real job, you kind of work for yourself. That's just my view. Shira and her panel of experts are going to help you understand what that's all about. It's over at the terrific facilities at the McLean Bible Church in Vienna. So there's a flyer out on the table, and you can find out more information about that on our website as well. That's July 15th. We're also happy to collaborate with our friends here at the Foundation Center. Many of you may know about the Foundation Center. It's a premier training and resource organization primarily for the staff and personnel involved with nonprofits, usually small grant-funded foundations, or grant-funded organizations that are looking for funding and access to foundations. And we are collaborating with them to present a program hosted by the organization called Reserve. Reserve has a very interesting mission. They want to engage that same cohort, those folks that are 55 and over, and provide them opportunities to give back to the community. There really is very little financial consideration in this arrangement, but it's a way for people who are older, who have a depth of experience, to learn more about reintegrating into cause-based organizations that are looking to affect social change. That event is going to be August 2nd from 10 to 11:30, right here. And we're happy to partner with Foundation Center on that. And the last one I wanted to mention to you is for those who may be into sustainable careers, green energy, the entire green economy, we're happy to partner with leaders in energy for a career fair focused on opportunities in green jobs or the sustainable economy. That's August 17th in the evening, 6 to 8:30, and then they have a pre-event workshop from 4 to 5:30. It's going to be in DC at the Office of Environmental Affairs. So again, the flyers are out on the table, and we hope you'll consider supporting and engaging with these organizations if this is something that's of interest to you. So enough of that. We're delighted to have Cherryl and Neill Humphreys with us this evening. Cherryl is the designer of a groundbreaking approach that she's followed to find her perfect work as one of the first success coaches in 1992, 3 years before life coaching was even a recognized profession. So, one of the architects. Now there are over 45,000 life coaches worldwide. She's helped thousands across the country and around the world find their perfect work in a variety of professional and educational settings. Her work has been featured in the Washington Post, Black Enterprise, Essence, WPFW, and MoneyWise on PBS. She's also created a blueprint, Finding Your Perfect Partner, and is currently developing one on Creating Your Perfect Life. With a bachelor's in mathematics education from George Washington, short stint teaching in the DC public schools, and then 19 years as a mathematician and systems analyst with the federal government. She's also certified as a professional image consultant and life purpose facilitation expert. So please join me in welcoming Cherryl.
Thank you very much. Does this blue light have to be on?
That's the projector, but we can.
Okay, that's not like really. I just learned about HSP and. Okay. That's another conversation. Right? Okay. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Ken, for inviting me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here and to talk about finding your perfect work, which is one of my favorite things to talk about that I haven't talked about in a long time. Let me just give you a little background on myself. I have an hour, right? I have 40 minutes. So you've got the bio. And the short version is I left my GGJ, my mother would say, good government job. I know none of you know what that means. 30 years ago, last year, I was bored and burned out. I had a great job. I was traveling all over. They were paying for it. It looked like the ideal job, but something was missing and I didn't know what it was. And there was a whole part of me that I knew was much more right-brained, creative, intuitive, that I was not using anymore as a mathematician. I was in '69 when I started as a mathematician with the federal government designing computer programs. I was a hidden figure. That's so funny when I saw the movie. It's not one script, Cherryl. And so I knew that I had to do something. I didn't know what to do. Coaching didn't exist. So I went to a career counselor and she said, oh, no problem, I'll help you. Here are all the assessments. And I told her, I've been in the computer field for almost 20 years. I want to do something a lot more creative. I have no idea what that is, what it looks like, or if I have any affinity for it. And she said, fine, just take the assessments. It'll be fine. We'll tell you exactly. Went through all the tests.
Like Myers-Briggs and stuff like that?
Yes. But this was even before, this was like way back in the early days of the stagecoaches, Myers-Briggs was not as accepted then. It is now. Everybody knows Myers-Briggs, which came out of Carl Jung's work. That's another conversation, Cherryl. So, did all the tests, came back, she was so proud. You'd be great in the computer field. I know I'm speaking English, right? So she didn't know what to do with me. So I said to myself, you're a systems analyst, figure it out. So I became my first client. And I said, what would you do to help this person figure out what they wanted to do? So that's what I did. For me, not knowing that once I got there, and it was a trip, I would turn around, there'd be a whole line of people behind me, family and friends, going, well, do me. I want you to do me too. So I, systems analyst forever, right, wrote it into a system, and it became Finding Your Perfect Work. So the first perfect work that I did was, I was in a bookstore, so I get messages from books. I don't know how, different people have it. You're nodding, I can see you have different ways. So I'm in a bookstore and this book drops in my lap. Image consulting, the new career. This was in 1986. I went home, read it, stayed up all night. I thought, people pay you to shop? Really? I've been shopping since my mama and I would shop when there was nothing else to do. Okay. So I stayed home, stayed up all night, read the book, found out most of the people interviewed for the book were I was living in Crystal City at the time, were in Arlington. They were image consultants. I got on the phone, I called them, I joined the association, I got my training. Color analysis, wardrobe planning, accessories, blah, 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 blah. 3, 6, 8 months later, I realized, like cooking, women do most of the work, but the big money was going to men. In fact, a man who just passed, who was head of the Republican National Committee, what's his name? He just passed a little while ago.
Was it Barber?
Huh?
Was it Barber?
No, I can't think of his name. It'll come to me. He was getting all the big contracts to do image consulting in 1986. Women were selling makeup, clothing, jewelry. I tried that for a while, not a good schlepper. That didn't work. But also I found that a lot of the women that I was working with who wanted to move into the executive ranks. Now remember, this is a century ago. This is when women were just returning to the workplace, wanted to move up in the workplace, didn't have a sense of image consulting being very different than dressing to entice partners. You can't just say men anymore, right? Partners, all right? So I had to do a whole learning curve thing. But a lot of the women were not comfortable presenting themselves powerfully, which image will do. So I had to do self-image work. So I did outer image and inner image, and then I added metaphysics to it, which this is probably not the arena to talk about that. The spiritual aspect, purpose, why are you here? That's when I started calling myself a success coach. And then, a few years later, International Coach Federation was born. And they were born in DC, so I was very active with them. But that's my quick story to how I got to be a coach. All right, any questions about that? Okay, so, why are you here? Who is here? Why are you here? Why are you here for this topic? What brought you here? Hello? We'll call them X. What are your expectations? Why are you here? What would you like to get? Don't let me have to call you.
How do you find the perfect?
Huh?
How do you find the perfect word for you?
How to know how. Okay. Anybody else?
How do you reframe all your experience, paid, volunteer, into a resume that gets you where you want to go?
How do I know what the perfect job is?
Perfect job, perfect work.
Perfect work.
Okay. We're going to do definitions in a minute.
When do I know I've struck gold?
Okay, can I just challenge you?
Challenge.
Okay.
Ooh,
How about wanting to be done with work?
Ah!
work is play.
How about that? Yes.
Perfect work is play. Don't I look like I'm having a good time?
Yes.
Anything else? Why are you here? What do you come for? What do you want to get?
What's the difference between work and a job?
Oh.
Don't you know? Really? Okay. Difference. Job and work. Work or perfect work? Or just work?
Well, you were saying perfect job versus perfect work.
Okay. I'll take a couple more.
How do I know that it's time for me to explore?
Do you love what you're doing?
Well, I do, but
If you don't love what you're doing, it's time. That's my version. If it gets harder to go in the morning, in the night, whatever your schedule is, if you're getting sick, if you're making up stuff so you can not go, It's time. I was on my good government job 2 years after I knew that I needed to leave. Because I was of the mindset, I went to school, and what am I going to tell my parents? Hello, I got this career. People wanted to be in the position that I had in 1969. And it was 19 years later, but that's the quick answer. Other? I want some men. Come on, men. You look like you've got a good reason.
I don't, actually.
So why did you come? You just wandered in off the street?
I did.
And you said, they have food. Really? Yes.
There's so much competition out there, so how do you distinguish yourself? How do you, make yourself unique and different and special and stand out with all of this competition?
Okay, so here's the quick version. You are unique, right? There's nobody like you.
Right.
So there's nobody with your everything you have, then nobody else can compete with that. So the competition is an idea that somebody else gave you. That's the quick version. Yes.
Is
Come again?
Is the competition that she's speaking of, is it really true that there's competition between, say, the younger generation and older generation?
Okay, so here's the thing. If you think there's competition, there's competition. If you think there's not, there's not. Whatever you think, you're right. Is that an answer? Quick answer. I'm going to give a quick answer. I'm really going to get to my presentation. Anybody else?
One more.
Yes.
Life living you instead of you living life.
So the difference between that? Tell me, I'm missing. Tell me what you want.
When we said, people you're putting things up there. Well, again, you're working a job just to have, a paycheck. And you're going, and it's pretty much like, life is living you, and you're not living life to enjoy.
So like live to work, work to live.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So later you'll have to help me read what I wrote. Am I going to get any input from a male? Am I going to have to pick one here? Ken.
What about if your perfect work doesn't pay the bills?
Where does money come from? What pays the bills?
People who have the opportunity to recognize your value.
They pay the bills? Really? Are they the source? They are? Okay, I'm crossing over the line here. We'll leave that one alone for now.
Well, I was thinking of where.
You didn't raise your hand. I'm not calling you and you didn't even want
I'll defer to.
Go ahead. No deferring.
So,
Deferring is out.
in this new economy and innovation and entrepreneurial spirit, creating from yourself and your wealth of experience and what you have and offer, something created totally new. You create the work.
I'll sit down and my presentation is done. Yeah. That's it. I mean, that's the beauty of the time that we live in. That's the beauty of the gig economy. We're forced, some of us, to deal with this gig economy because, okay, you can't say that, because it's time for us to recognize that we have a uniqueness that we bring to everything. And even more than that, to me, here is my view of work. Everybody has what I call perfect work, and I'm going to define it in a minute. Everybody has work, I'm defining it now. Everybody has work that is perfect for you and provides a service to other people. That's my definition of perfect work. It's perfect for you and it provides a needed service to others. Now just imagine, if you saw the world that way, and everyone was doing their perfect work, every job would be done. Nobody would be mad on Monday morning or Sunday night. There would be no road rage that comes mainly from not loving your job, although it's coming from a whole lot of areas now. But that's mainly it. Why? Because we spend more time at work, getting to work, thinking about work, preparing for work, and that was before cell phones. Where you are now, most of you are, now what is that line from Julia Roberts said in Pretty Woman? It'll come to me. So the idea is that you spend more time around work than you do sleeping, and most people don't get enough sleep. So your work is your life. It is using your life energy and your time. So you need to make it pleasant as well as profitable. And you can do both. Now, Mr. Hand raised.
She actually kind of got it, but mine was it's like keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with the millennials, the aggravation of that. How do you keep up?
Why would you want to?
Well,
To stay relevant.
what if
You have to say
You don't think you're relevant?
relevancy? What if you?
You think millennials are relevant?
No.
If
Don't get me started. Okay, Cherryl.
They're the ones who are wiring.
Yes. And ageism, like racism and sexism and all the other isms are alive and
Yes.
well.
Right.
But here's the thing. How do you make buying decisions? Do you buy based on a product that only one company person has?
No.
No. How do you make buying decisions?
Compare.
Pair what?
Product value.
Product, value, prices.
Price.
What else?
What I like.
Reviews.
Quality,
Whatever your
Image.
friends
Image?
are saying, somebody's convincing you, did you get this? Oh, I just got this great gadget or this new shoe. It's
whatever your values are, right? Yes,
Social.
Gar.
Or if we're talking about services, experience.
Experience. Yes, but if you have two people who have the exact same product and the exact same experience, how do you decide?
Which one do you like better?
Like,
What do you want to work with?
Relationship.
relationships.
Right.
It's all about feeling.
Right.
That's what marketers know so well, and they use it against us, so to speak, kind of, sort of. That's like marketing 101, right? They want to make you feel good. So buying is feeling. And it doesn't matter whether you're buying a job, a car, a house, a career, a blah, 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 blah. It's feeling. All right? Questions? I see the wheels are turning. Okay, any more expectations? Okay, so let's get to the official. Let's see, how am I supposed to get started? Oh, I introduced myself, that was good. Okay, I defined perfect work, that was good. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my worldview. I think it's very important. This is something I've added to my work now that I'm reinventing, or being reinvented, yet again, for the last phase of my life on Earth School. Earth School is so hard. Going to Jupiter next time. So here's my worldview. I think it's important to know the worldview of the person you're listening to so that you can get an idea of where I'm coming from. Okay, so I already told you about my idea about work. If everybody's doing their perfect work, all jobs would be done and people wouldn't be mad most of the time. Okay? So the other part is that I believe that we came into this life to find our way through the world, to find ourselves, because we knew who we were before we came, and then we got born, and then we forgot everything. Okay? And so we didn't forget everything, but for the most part we did. So this life is about remembering, putting the pieces back together, remembering who we are, why we came, what we came to do, what we're about, and so forth. And I'll tell you also, part of my worldview is we didn't come just to be married, have children, have a job, da-da-da, da-da-da, ooty-da, ooty-dee, okay? That's the set for the play. Only the set. But we came to discover ourselves again and who we really are and why we're really here. And that's one of the main things that this last phase of my work is about, helping people to get in touch with their power. Because we give a lot of it away all the time, unconsciously even. There are people who are so controlled by their phones that when it rings, they have to answer it. I don't turn mine on. I'm talking about cell phone. I turn it on because when I was growing up, there were pay phones. Some of you know what those are, some of you don't. But you know, there are no pay phones. So if I need to make a call, I need to have a phone. That's the only reason why I have a phone. Because I have a home landline. Yay, I got a yay. All right, so that's part of my worldview. So we come here to find out who we are again because we forgot. Now the good news is that most of our lives we are being that because we can't not be that. But if we get too far off the trail, I see a hand. If we get, can I finish my sentence?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
If we get too far off the trail, something will yank us back. We'll have an accident, we'll get sick, something that'll put us down so we can stop this foolishness and get a chance to remember wherever you're headed, it's not taking you where we want you to go. Yes, sir.
Yeah, a few seconds ago, I thought I heard you say that we give a lot of our stuff away.
Power.
Yeah. Can you expound on that, please?
Really?
Yes.
Okay. How fair I guess when I got to either. Okay. So phones are a good way. So you have a phone. So it's a technology that is supposed to serve you. But most people are served by others who are connected to their phone. So this is the way you give away your power. So when people call and you feel like you have to answer, or when people text and you feel like you have to text them back or read the text, that's giving away your power. That's a little one. You want a bigger one?
Okay.
You got the message.
Yeah, I get the message. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, here's another one that's coming up for me to talk about. A lot of us make decisions about our lives based on what other people want us to do. Mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, husbands, wives, fill in the blank. That's not their job. If we let them make our decisions for us, we're giving away our power. You came into this life to live your life. You didn't come to live anybody else's life. You didn't come to please anybody. So that's why you have to know my worldview, because I'm not coming from where most people are coming, and definitely not from where most women are coming. I missed the socialization. I was at the playground. Does that answer the question?
Right.
You want more?
No, that's cool.
Okay,
That's cool.
Anything else? Okay, let me see if I got all my key worldview stuff in. So your life is yours to do as you please. Now they didn't tell you that, especially if you're a woman or a girl. They didn't tell you. They were like, no, you're here to please other people and you need to get on with it. And why are you not pleasing that person? What's wrong with you? Who do you think you are? How many little girls heard, who do you think you are growing up? I think I was always getting in trouble. That's another conversation. All right, so that's my worldview. So you know where I'm coming from when I say stuff. All right, so is there anybody here who's doing their perfect work? Feels like they're doing their perfect work? Oh, we have one.
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out if I'm doing my perfect work.
You got a smile, a good smile on your face. You could be.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, I kind of backed into it. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out if it's true, but I was advised to work 3 days and spend my other time looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed I stopped looking for a job, and I finally had a job where I wasn't at the end of a fire hose,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually had time to think and to be creative,
Mhm.
and I really like helping people and organizations be better.
Mm-hmm.
And the consulting route isn't quite right for me. I like to be embedded
Mm-hmm.
in the organization,
Mhm.
and so I don't know.
You're on the route. You're my A student already.
Well,
Still thinking about it.
Well, it's a process.
Yeah.
It is a process. And yes,
So, I actually kind of got into my current gig through a former boss that I worked with many years ago.
okay.
And what I'm doing is what I call personal project management, because there's a project management as a discipline or certification and all that stuff. Well, I didn't get all those kinds of things. I don't really think I need to. I've had training as a radio producer and as a TV producer, so I think from the outcome and move back in steps and do milestones and critical path and all that kind of stuff. And so I got this wonderful assignment handed to me by my former boss, and that was to help a retired actress transfer her financial and real estate assets into a special needs trust for the benefit of her disabled daughter. And I love what I do because I'm negotiating conflict, I'm working with a CPA, I'm working with a real estate agent, I'm working with a lawyer and other people and contractors to fix up the house and this and that. So it's a lot like what I did many years ago, which I had my own company, and it was called Help Is On The Way. And so the spirit of Help Is On The Way, which is so part of my personality, I love to contribute.
Yes.
I love being a service-oriented person and making a contribution to anyone I work with. And if I'm not able to do that, that's a turn-off. That's a signal to me that that's not the right fit anymore. If I can't make that kind of contribution. So it's funny how sometimes your work finds you instead of you finding your work.
Yes, that's what my work did.
Yeah.
It found me.
Yeah.
So this is the deal about perfect work. It is perfect for you. Remember I said it's perfect for you and it provides a service. So it's perfect for you because it uses your skills and what I call your most enjoyable skills, because you have great skills that you don't really enjoy using.
Right. I mean, I love to research, I love to negotiate, and I love to communicate. And the negotiation is also obviously a conflict resolution piece.
Right.
And finding ways. My biggest thing is how can I get things unstuck for other people? Moving a process where too many logs came together and it's a log jam. Bam.
But you know how to do that, Carl.
Yeah. That's one of my gifts.
Right, and people need that.
Right.
Because there are people who get stuck and can't move when they get stuck. So this is the part of the perfect work that I want you to really get, is that you have a set of skills. Right now, why follow the outline? So everyone take out a piece of paper or something. I want you to list 10 skills that you have right now. List 10 skills. Don't think about it, just write. Whatever comes to your mind, just write it up. Make it up, doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be true, it's not going to be graded. Just come up with 10 things. Do you need paper, pen?
I'm good.
Okay. You need a pen, Ken? How many people have 10? What? How many people have 5? Is this the remedial group? Kid, you didn't tell me it was remedial group. When you have 10, let me make eye contact. Or raise your hand. Oh, was that a question? No, that's good. 10. How many people have 10? Raise your hand. Okay. 2 more seconds. Come on, people. 10. Make it up stuff. Just, what do people tell you you're good at? If you're the shy kind and you don't know what you're good at, what do people say? Oh, you're so good at that. You always good at that. I need 10 or I can't go forward. I usually do 25.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Wow.
Okay, how many people don't have 10? Raise your hand. Raise it high.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how you're gonna get more. We're gonna do this in a very, very short period.
And
so
also
you
try
can
to
see.
type on this little book.
Okay, so somebody tell me a skill they have.
Listening.
Listening. If you're a good listener, and that's not on your list, put it on your list. Another skill.
Operations?
Operations, is that a skill? I mean, like operating.
Organization?
Organization.
Organization, okay, organizing, I consider that a skill. If you're good at organizing.
Project
It's not on your
management.
list. What was it?
Project management.
Project management.
Fluency in Spanish.
Fluency in Spanish.
Public speaking.
Public speaking. Biggest fear ever. People are more afraid of public, I still don't get it, but people are more afraid of public speaking than everything else.
Really?
It's the number one numero uno. Yes.
Event planning.
Event planning. Oh, me too. I planned the greatest wedding. I even thought about being an event planner until I thought, no, I don't think so. Especially not weddings. Mothers are crazy at weddings. Yeah.
Oh, facilitator. Facilitator.
Facilitator.
Interviewing.
Interviewing. Yes.
Influencing people in situations.
Influencing. Right? Because all the rest is. What else?
Creative thinking.
Creative thinking. Yes.
Leading crisis.
Leading. Crisis management. That's two. Something else.
Critical analysis.
Chaos.
What?
Calm.
Calming? Will you go home with me? Who doesn't mean calming? Right? Okay, now, how many people don't have 10? All right, I can move on. Okay, so perfect for you. So these are skills that you have. Now, okay, I can do this. This is not part of this, but we're gonna do it. So, we'll have you look at your skill list and pick 3 of your favorites. Yes.
I have a question.
I
How
have an
do you
answer.
prepare your resume when you're taking these 10 or 20 skills that come from all things
You're
you've
not
done
there
in your
yet.
life? Okay.
You're not. We got work to do. Introspective work before we get to resume writing and cover lettering. I mean, you got to have them, but this is the part I think that you need to do before you get to that other part.
So what did you ask us to do?
I don't know.
You said,
Pick your top 3.
Go.
Which ones you enjoy the most? Not necessarily that you're good at and enjoy.
Okay.
Good at and enjoy. If you're good at it and you don't like doing it, I'm good at cleaning. I don't like cleaning. It's not on my list. Got it?
Pick the 3 that you're good at and you like.
That, yes, good at that you enjoy. Gotta be Joy, right? Where's Joy Rodman? Did she leave? Everywhere I go, I meet a Joy. She was my elevator person. Gotta be Joy, why bother? Yes,
This question, so did you or do you still enjoy math?
I love math.
But you just didn't enjoy
Math is beauty.
but you didn't enjoy the work connected to
20 years of designing computer systems. When they got a PC on everybody's desk in my agency, I'm like, I'm out of here. We don't need systems analysts and programmers and mathematicians and operations research people when you got a PC on your desk that can do more than this big building of computers that I worked with. No, boring. Somebody else can do that part. What's next? I'm gonna do something else. 20 years? Come on.
but you still love math.
I'm a math person. But I got a degree in math from GW. I came out, there was nothing to do but teach. But thank goodness, my sophomore year undergrad, GW offered their first computer classes. I took every class they offered. So when I was ready to graduate, I thought, I'm not going to, my mother said, teach, you can get your degree in education, you can always get a job. She was right. But I was waiting for a computer job. And when they said business programming, don't want to do COBOL, want to do Fortran, because it's math-based. So, but you have to be clear. If you're clear, then things are offered and you can say yes or no easily. But if you don't know what you want and where you're going, you'll say yes to anything. Or something that may sound good, even though your gut is saying, your gut's up here, it's not down here, is saying, I don't want to do that. Did I answer your question? Yes. Any, where are we? You got your top three?
Yes.
Who does not have their top three identified? Oh, you guys, good, you get better. Okay. What, did I say something wrong? Okay.
We just feel like losers, that's all.
No!
I'm kidding.
No, there are no losers. Okay, so you have your most enjoyable skills. So here's the thing that's missing. Well, let's talk about the service piece. So I define perfect work as work that's perfect for you and that provides a service. So perfect for you centers on, uses the skills that you're good at that you most enjoy. So with that information alone, you can go and change your resume and who you're applying to right there, because you got some information that you probably didn't have when you came in here, or knew but wouldn't acknowledge. All right, so now we're gonna, yes.
But you have to list the companies that gave you that experience. And sometimes it's volunteer work or something.
Doesn't matter. It's experience and the skills. The pay really doesn't matter. I mean, you have to pay bills, but it's the experience, because a lot of times what people will do is they'll volunteer for something that they really love to do, that they won't take a job doing because they don't think they can get paid to do it, because they don't have the credentials. But the beauty of the gig economy is it's a lot loosier-goosier. And you can really do what you really want to do. And you can find somebody who's going to pay you to do it. Like that image consulting. I was doing closets and shopping for people, and I thought, and I was amazed to find there are a lot of women who don't like to shop. I'm like, really? Oh my God, you mean I get to shop and spend your money? Okay, I mean, I didn't know that existed till I saw that book. So you'd be surprised, and that was 30 years ago. We're talking 1986. So now, there are no limits. The only limits are the ones in your mind. You can take that to the bank. They won't give you anything for it, but you can take it. Any questions so far? Okay, so service, so the service piece. So everybody wants to help. So when I ask you this question, don't say, well, I want to help people. Everybody wants to help people. So the question is, how do you want to help? Who do you want to help? So here are the 5 ingredients of perfect work. This is so simple, you're going to be like kicking me out the door. It's the report questions. Who, what, when, where, why. Who do you want to help? Do you want to help animals? Do you want to help zebras? Do you want to help bluebirds? Do you want to help children? Do you want to help, you know, you get me? Who? Who's your who? So homework. Who's your who? Describe your who. Because you know who that person is. You know who those people are that you want to. You don't want to help everybody. I don't want to help everybody. I love animals. I don't want to work with animals. I want to work with people. After all that time working with ideas and computers and information, I realized what was missing for me was I wasn't working with people enough and seeing an impact. When you design computer systems, well, maybe now that they're app-centered, but in my day, you didn't see a whole lot of people. Okay, so who are your people that you want to help? What do you want to do to help them? What do you want to do? You want to use those most enjoyable skills. So how do you package in your mind those most enjoyable skills in a way that's going to provide the service that you want to provide to the people that you want to provide it to? I mean, see how simple this is? Mathematicians always have formulas. So what do you want to do? Who do you want to help? Where do you want to do it? Do you want to do it in the public sector? Do you want to do it in the private sector? Do you want to do it as an entrepreneur? Do you want to do it in nonprofits? Do you want all of the above? And where physically? What kind of environment? And this is a great time now. Where, because when I had my good government job, I was trying to talk to them about flex time, and they were looking at me like, what? What is that? now there are no limits to how you schedule your time. And everybody's open. It's a great time to be on the planet. And you chose to be here now. I'll just throw that in. Okay, so where do you want to do this? What kind of environment? What kind of schedule do you want? Do you want to work just on Mondays? When I started working for myself, I didn't work on Mondays because most people hated their jobs and didn't like Mondays. So I took Mondays off. Just kind of celebrate. You know, and you can do whatever you want. So I want to work, maybe not. Before, I wanted to work 10 months a year. I don't want to work for 2 months. And when I first started doing my perfect work, I was like, I can't wait. You know, I'm going to go on vacation. When you're doing your perfect work, you don't need to go on vacation. You go on vacation because you're trying to get away from a life that's driving you crazy. I didn't go on vacation for years. Vacation, why do I need a vacation? You know what I mean? It's your whole perspective, like really shifts in ways that you can't anticipate. Okay, what did I say? What, where? So where is also your schedule? What hours of the day? You know, some people are night people. They want to work at night. Some people want to don't call me at 6 in the morning. You're going to get my answering machine. Don't call me at 8 in the morning. You're not going to get me. When I get up, I have my ritual. I meditate. I do my morning pages. I do, blah, 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 blah. I won't even turn on my phone. People say, I called you, and you went to your answering machine. It's my answering machine. I turn my phone on when I get ready to take calls. I turn it off when I go to bed at night. I turn it off when I don't want to be disturbed. It's real simple. I don't even want to hear it ring. It'll go to voicemail. And people will say, well, I texted you and you didn't get back to me. Verizon's not going to tell you that you texted a landline.
No, it does. It does tell you. It does tell you.
You have to have special service. My Verizon doesn't. So people don't, if your cell service will do that. But there's some that they just go into the black hole. And people think you're ignoring them. I texted you 2 weeks ago and you have my phone number? I have voicemail. You call. They know me now. Okay, so what did I say? What, where, when, that's hours and schedule.
You need why.
Why? I'm going to say that for last. I usually do that first, but I'm going to save it for last. How? Okay, how is your homework? So I'll tell you about that more. Let's do the why. So there was a young man who's probably a millennial who came up with, what is your why? Have you heard of the what is your why?
No.
Oh, it's on like YouTube or somewhere I found it. What is your why? So you see, I'm a little irreverent. Oh, I forgot this was being recorded. Oh no, too bad. So your why is the reason behind. It's the real raison d'etre. It's why you work. You don't work for the money or the benefits or the vacation time or the office, or some of you do. Fine, I'm not speaking to you. Or the corner office or the parking space. You're really working because, if you're doing your perfect work, because there is a service. There is a way of helping that you're wanting to provide. And if your work is not doing that, it is not your perfect work. Sweat. Okay? So your why is what I call your mission. Now, a lot of people talk about purpose and mission and use them interchangeably. I have very different definitions of the two. Mission is the reason why you work. It's the service that you're really wanting to perform through your work. It's the help, it's the way that you want to help. Because trust me, everybody on the planet, even the crazy people or the whatever people or the fill in the blank, they really want to provide service. So your mission is the why. And if you don't know what your personal mission is, you don't need to be working. Right, because you're going to be unhappy. You're not going to be good at what you do. You're not going to attract all the benefits that you want, all the money or the cars or the parking or the corporate whatevers, or I don't even know what they are anymore. But whatever they are, you're not going to attract that, because you have to honor yourself by doing what you love. Because if you don't love what you're doing, you don't love yourself enough to do what you love. And stop it. When you walk out of this room, all of that's going to be gone. You're going to leave it right here in this room. And then we're going to vacuum later. Get some sage. Burn the energy.
Smudge.
You thought smudge. That's right. White sage. Indians, they know what to do. Okay, you got it? Do you understand? Any questions? So you need to know your, yes.
Yes.
My questioner back there.
Yeah. What's the degree of difficulty here?
The degree of difficulty
for accomplishing all this? I mean,
how many degrees of difficulty are there? Give me a number.
6.
Okay, 1. Okay, -5. How's that? It's easy peasy, folk. Well, let me put it this way. It's simple, but it's not easy. And the reason it's not easy is because we have all this programming. If you could get out of the programming, it would be simple and easy. So it's simple because you see I'm giving you reporter questions. Who went, nothing profound. Groundbreaking 30 years ago, not so much, but nobody was doing it. But the hard part is getting past the programming. Who do you think you are? What makes you think you can do that? I sent you to school, you got a degree and blah, blah, blah. Now you want to be an artist? You know, we all got the stories, right? Anybody not have the stories I'm talking about? Raise your hand, because I want to touch you and be transformed. Because that's part of Earth School. You come into Earth School, you got all this power and all this knowledge. But once you come through the birth canal, boop, you got everything gone. So you got these people, and they teach you how to operate in a body, in a little baby body, and how to speak the language of Earth School. And every day, you forget more and more about what you knew before you came. But you forget it, but you don't lose it. It's always with you. And it's always guiding you. And once you face it and realize it exists, then it will start guiding you even more. I know this is more than you asked for, but that's the real deal, folk. And, okay, I can say this. Okay, good. And not only that, you came here, you decided to come here. You agreed to be here at this crucial time so that you could evolve personally, you could help all of humankind evolve, and you could help the planet evolve. So you didn't come here kicking and screaming. I had this vision that there's a big conference table, we're all sitting around the table, and they're like, okay, whoever the theys are. They're like, okay, so we have this project management, down on Earth, the 21st century, we need some takers. Anybody want to go? I was like, I want to go. I didn't even know what I want to go for. We all did, to some extent. And we're just waking up to that. That's part of this awakening. We're remembering that we came here on purpose. We wanted to be here. And all of our lives, whatever we have done, whatever has happened to us has been part of our process to build our muscles and our skills to get us where we need to go next. That's more worldview stuff. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, I forgot. I was supposed to repeat the question. Oh well. My first YouTube, I don't know anything about being recorded. I find out, won't I? Okay, so I covered why. We're still on why. Personal mission. What is your personal mission? Okay, details at 11. That's the next class. But the point is, you have to find out your why. And there's a million resources, online and otherwise. But I'll tell you, when people tell you purpose, they're usually talking about mission. And let me show you how I define them differently. because I've noticed coaches and all sorts of experts use purpose and mission interchangeably. I do not. I love your reactions. So mission to me is the reason why we work. The service behind which, the service we're trying to provide. But purpose, life purpose, is who you are. It's much bigger than work. So much bigger. Any questions? Big difference. And you're going to see when you go online and you read books and they're going to say purpose, mission, oh, it's the same. It's your mission. It's your purpose. It's your calling. It's your, not the same. Not in my book. All right, so you need to find out what your personal mission is. That's your why. And now you've got already started your skills, most enjoyable skills. I do have a formula for finding your personal mission. Most enjoyable skills are in it. That's all I can tell you for now. Because I got to get through all my what, who, where, when. Wow. Okay, so the how is the details of after you do, well, you've got your skills, you've got your most enjoyable skills identified. And the beauty of that is you can change that around. You can do one set of most enjoyable skills and go off in a direction of jobs and work and ways of working that relate to those, and then you can do another set. And then you can experiment and try on different sets, like outfits. And you can always, and I know you've learned all of this from the different programs that are offered here, you can always volunteer at something. You can always do, what did they used to call them? Information interviews with people who are doing what it is that you want to be doing. I mean, there are a million ways, and especially now in this digital age, there is no reason that you can't find out how to do whatever you want to do, because somebody's done it and doing it. And you have contacts with them from all over the planet, all over the world. I think that's pretty cool. Questions? No questions you're thinking. Let's see if I covered everything. So the how homework, once you get the mission first. The how homework is, how do you want to do? Once you get these skills identified that you want to do, and you're clear about your people you want to serve, and how you want to serve, how do you write a story or do a treasure map? Well, we call them treasure maps. Now they're called vision boards. How do you do a visual and or a literal description of that perfect work that you want to do? I get up on Tuesday mornings. I only work on Wednesdays. I wear my jeans. I have, whatever. Because the sky is not the limit. The sky is not the limit. Questions? Oh, wow, look at that. I'm almost on time. Yes?
Yeah, so I'm still a little bit vague on the purpose point.
Purpose?
Yeah, this thing.
Because I didn't do purpose. I did mission.
Right, okay.
Purpose is outside of the scope of this.
Got it.
But you mean the definition of it?
No, how you were distinguishing between purpose.
Purpose is who you are.
Thank you, that's what I wanted.
Purpose is who you are. Mission, and I call it life purpose. Life purpose is who you are. It's a statement of who you are. Your personal mission is a statement about what service you're wanting to provide. So, for example, my, what is that thing called? Life purpose is to freely enjoy being a pioneer. That's the core of it. Teaching and learning with variety and flexibility is the other part. So, when I found what my purpose was, that was 90-something. 3 maybe? Something like that. Then I could look back over my whole life and say, well, of course. Because I was tutoring math students when I was in junior high school. I took the first classes at GW. When you know what it is, you can look back over your life and it all makes sense. And that's when you can see that there's some kind of power doing something, because you're kind of clueless and you end up with this life that reflects who you really are. thing is, if you knew this, if teenagers knew this, or 20-year-olds knew this, how different their lives would be. The book that I'm writing, the 12 books that I'm writing, if I had those when I was 12, I would be flying around the universe now without a plane.
Yeah, who says you aren't? I know your magic carpet is out there somewhere.
I got carpets everywhere. So did you get the distinction there?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I'm a minute over time. I want to close with a quote.
I have a question.
Question.
If the conversational purpose is outside of this realm, can you give some resources for us to explore that?
Yes. So here's the thing. In 25 years of coaching, I have seen in this last 4 years that I've been working on rebranding now. There are 45,000 coaches worldwide, most of them doing virtual work. I have seen different YouTubes and so forth about purpose. I have never seen anybody do a purpose process. It's always been an issue. So I was trained to be a facilitator in a life purpose process, and I have been looking, I've been reading, I have not seen anything like it. So I don't have another resource at this point, but if I find one, if you give me your information, I'll be sure to let you know. Okay? Yes?
I'm hanging on about the why. You said once you've discovered your mission.
That is your why.
That's,
your personal mission statement is your why.
okay, and the how?
The how is the details.
The details.
That's all the details of the what, when, where, who. Okay? Into either a story or a visual, or both. Whatever suits you. Okay? Any final questions? I'm going to leave you with a quote and then I'll be done. Where's my quote? Let me see, make sure I've got everything. If you want to get in touch with me, I can give you my number. And I do. Somebody asked me. I do more group coaching now than one-on-one, but I will do one-on-ones. But I prefer to do the life purpose because that's what I haven't found anybody, and it takes several hours to do it, but it works. And the final quote. So here's the quote. You've probably heard it before. Slow down and enjoy life. It's not only the scenery you miss by going too fast. You also miss the sense of where you're going and why. Eddie Cantor said that. Those of you who know Eddie Cantor, the rest of you can Google. Thank you.
Cherryl, thank you very much. I say this is a thought-provoking, an entertaining, an innovative presentation. We hope you all enjoyed it. And we're launching something new this evening. It's just a feedback opportunity. So if you've got everybody's got these cards. You can fill it out, leave it on your chair, put it at the desk as you leave. And somebody, if you provide your contact information, somebody's going to get a $25 Amazon gift card. So that's a little bit of an incentive because we want to know if we're meeting your needs. And if we're addressing and bringing in speakers. Cherryl was terrific this evening, but if this is on target with what you're looking for, and if you have other suggestions and ideas for the kinds of things that we can bring in. As Eric mentioned earlier, this is a program that we do once a month, an opportunity to engage not only with our dedicated job seekers, but also those of you who are working or otherwise busy during the day, an opportunity for our job seekers and you to expand your network and get to meet one another. So watch the calendar, watch the website. August 10 will be our next program here in the evenings. And as we mentioned before, every Monday morning at 10 o'clock, we're here for you as well. So thank you all for coming. We'll continue the networking. We've still got some snacks and drinks left over. So please enjoy each other's company. Thanks again. Have a good evening.